Hey everybody, I'm Megan Zimba from MTD CNC, and I'm so excited because we are here in Topsfield, Massachusetts to talk to Fairview Machine Company. And today I have Ed Pino with me. Hello, Ed. How are you doing?
Good morning, Megan. Very good, thank you.
So today we're going to be talking about something around quality control. Not a lot of people like that conversation. Some kind of veer away from it because they don't think that it's very fun, but I think it's fun. And you've been the VP of sales here for how many years now?
Approximately 25 years.
But you've been with the company for how long?
Close to 40 years.
Sorry if I'm aging you, but I just love the fact that you have a great relationship with the company and you know your customers pretty well too. So give me an idea of what Fairview was like before you partnered up with 1factory.
Well, Fairview is a company, we're a premier manufacturing machining company, specialized 5-axis machining, very tight tolerances, complex assemblies. We support leading global defense contractors, medical customers, aerospace. So the components we make are just not your normal components. Again, very tight tolerances, complex. So we're an upper echelon machining company. We constantly reinvest into the company every year. The latest machining tools, quality machines, CMMs. But the biggest thing on my end, bringing on 1factory, working with our quality manager, Harrison Moulton, has really enhanced our capabilities. So when we bring customers in, we do presentations, or I am visiting a customer with a presentation, and 1factory comes into the picture on our presentation, it shows that we have enhanced our quality systems, and it really works out great. Our customers love it. So in a nutshell, 1factory has really been a plus for us.
So Ed, can you tell me how Fairview is using 1factory as another tool in your tool belt to help make your sales more efficient?
Again, 1factory into our presentations when we're selling to new customers or even existing customers, how we've enhanced our capabilities, going paperless. All of our documentation can be uploaded into our customers' ports. Even to the point where now we're bringing on our supply chain with our platers, painters, heat treaters, that now revision controls, things of that sort, that 1factory assists us on controlling us sub tiers. So this again enhances our quality that we provide our customers. Our customers depend on having stellar quality numbers. We are right now functioning over 98, 99% quality ratings across the board with our customers. And 1factory really assists us on keeping those numbers where they should be at that level.
That's great. So in terms of like what you're foreseeing in the future, what are you excited about next now that you have this great partnership with 1factory?
What I see again is keeping the level of quality levels that we are at our customers, enhance future growth, future customers. It really is a great tool assisting us. And again, Fairview Machine is an upper level supplier, preferred supplier for all our customers. And this has only enhanced our capabilities even more.
Hello, Harrison. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I am great. So walk me through this partnership that you have with 1factory. How did it start? What were some of the things going on in quality control that made you reach out to 1factory?
So we started with 1factory just over 3 years ago. So like anything, we were trying to go paperless. We struggled a lot with data and transferring the data. So we would bring a part up to the CMM and then you would lose value because you're transferring data from a PDF onto an Excel spreadsheet by hand. So now what we do is part goes upstairs, goes to the CMM, runs through, and it's automatically uploaded. All right, well now, instead of one person wasting 3 or 4 hours doing an inspection that the data is already there, right? Now they may have more time to run another machine, right? Do something like that, or maybe they can help out somewhere else in the shop as well. So that's kind of what started our journey with 1factory, and it's been awesome.
What other things is 1factory helping you do outside of that document management and being able to enter that data in a seamless way?
So 1factory over the past 6 months to a year, we actually just rolled out their QMS system. So now with audits, so I no longer have to go from folder to folder. Everything's in one central location, whether it's, okay, procedure 26, well, AS 9100, this is how we comply to 4.1, I don't know, any section there. So I'm able to click and it's automatically tagged together. So it's super helpful with that. Training as well. So we're able to roll out training. So any auditor, they want to see how are you continuously improving, right? So what we do is, okay, well, every 18 months, Nick has to go back and retrain on our FOD control, right? So people love to see that, and it's been a huge benefit for us.
And you guys are dealing with some pretty amazing products from defense and medical devices and other commercial components. How is 1factory really helping you strengthen your relationships with your customers in terms of that training and in terms of being able to document everything that you're doing in quality control?
So we've also been able to roll out with our suppliers as well. So what our customers want to see, okay, well, how can you control your supply base, right? So what I can do now, okay, a supplier, we used to use a PDF document that we would print out and hand out to them, right? I have no idea if they're gonna copy that paperwork. Okay, do they have Rev B? Well, we're at Rev C now. So now what I can do is I can make a document inactive. Okay, well now our supplier, they may not have access to Rev B now. So they have no excuse if they come to me, okay, well, we didn't do X, Y, Z. And that rollout's been huge for us as well.
When it comes to integrating standards like the AS 9100, how are you doing that with their internal procedure?
So we basically go in and we would take the AS 9100 standard, you put it in 1factory and it's already there. So then for 8.7 non-conforming documents, okay, well that's our internal procedure is procedure 15 and it goes in exactly how we comply with 8.7. There's no more digging around from folder to folder. It's right there. And that's what an auditor wants to see. They don't want to be wasting time jumping from folder to folder. They want to see that you know your quality manual inside and out. And 1factory helps us do that.
So it's going to be easier as standards change, because they do change, especially with newer technology come in, that you'll be able to integrate that as seamlessly as possible, correct?
Pretty much immediately, yeah.
So Harrison, can you tell me a little bit more on how you would train on those types of procedures?
Absolutely. So 8.7, non-conforming material. Well, when we onboard a new employee, so, okay, this person is an operator. So they have certain sections that they're required to train on. And then we can also roll out, okay, maybe they need retraining every 12 months. FOD might be more often, maybe that's every 6 months, because we constantly need to be retraining as well as when we onboard. And 1factory automatically sets that up.
So I noticed too in our previous conversations when we were having an introduction conversation, you guys were talking about how well you're connected with some of the technical schools. So when you're bringing in new employees, especially like with your multi-generational employees, how is that whole onboarding process? Like, are your employees picking up fairly quickly?
Yeah, so especially the younger generation, they have no problem. When we first started 1factory, I was a little nervous with some of our older machinists, but they've all been on board from day one, and I was really shocked to find out their willingness to use it.
What has been one of the biggest surprises for you when you integrated 1factory into your shop?
I think one of my biggest surprises is probably our older machinists and their willingness to adapt. When we first rolled this out, you didn't have jobs 100% in 1factory, right? So I was shocked when I would have, I don't know, a guy who's 65 years old come to me and ask, okay, hey, when can I get this job updated? Because they're sick of handwriting their data, right? It automatically comes from the CMM, makes less work for them, and makes everyone's life easier.
So in terms of the future, what sort of insight can you give us and to those who are listening about the partnership that you have with 1factory?
So I see 1factory going more down like an ERP system as well. So I can take my NCRs and do stuff like that, and now it's more of a factory management system. So I don't have to go to 3 different places where I can just do it in one central location. And that's kind of where I see our partnership going as well.
So for other shops who are similar to yours, what's one thing that you can tell them about how this is really elevating your competitiveness in terms of quality control?
Well, I'd say it's a big selling point for us. So when our customers come in, or new customers, I can show them exactly what we're doing. I can show them how I can drill down on our suppliers. This is how we keep control over them. This is how we pass our audits every single year. And it allows us to be that much farther ahead from our competitors.
So Nick, give me some history about your position here at Fairview. What do you do?
So currently I'm one of our quality engineers. So I now work up in the office with getting inspection reports ready, getting information in from the customers, and building all the inspection packages for the operators out on the floor. I also deal with first article inspection reports, getting those ready and compiled and sent off to our customers, and a few other odds and ends.
So you were here before 1factory was here. So can you give us a glimpse of what life was like without 1factory in your daily operation?
Sure. At the time, I was actually in here programming the CMMs predominantly and running them. And so what we would have to do is run the program. We would actually print out the results and have to hand transfer them onto our paperwork history sheets, which was the document that we used to actually capture all the data from the in-process inspections. So not only were we using a humongous amount of paper, it took a very long time, especially if you had a complicated part with, say, several hundred dimensions that you had to check. It would take forever.
So in comes 1factory. How have things changed with that software coming into play?
It's become a lot more streamlined. So now every time we run a program, the CMM automatically uploads the data as it finishes directly into 1factory, and the operators are immediately able to access that on their tablets.
Can you give us a specific time of how long that information processes?
Once the software here on the CMMs is done generating all the data, it's literally seconds.
So you can basically just turn around and then it's there?
Yep. By the time the operator has the part back in their hands, the data's there.
So can you give me an idea of how easy it was for you to learn the new software as it came into your shop?
It really wasn't hard. It was pretty intuitive, pretty easy to use. There was definitely some back and forth with figuring out how exactly we were going to use it and start putting things together. But it, all in all, was a relatively smooth process.
So Nick, can you walk me through the steps to create a first article of inspection for your customers using 1factory?
Sure. So we'll get the print. We'll upload that into 1factory and balloon it with the OCR, which is automatic. Then we release the plan, finish that, upload the data from the physical inspection, and then we can, from there, immediately create an AS9102 form.
As you're building these FAI packages out for your customers, can you give us a little peek into how many softwares it took in order to do that successfully versus now using 1factory?
Sure. It was at least 5 or 6 between ballooning the drawings, between the actual inspection reports, between putting the FAI package together. Yeah, it's all done with this one software now.
So my last question to you, Nick, do you miss the old way? Would you want to go back?
Absolutely not.
So before we get into the nitty gritty of 1factory, I have to ask, how many gauges are you managing here at Fairview?
At the moment, we have over 6,000 gauges on file in 1factory, which includes like thread gauges, Deltronic pins, micrometers, calipers, and a lot of bore gauges.
So one of the things that we're going to be talking about is 1factory. How has working with 1factory really helped you and how you're doing things with the gauges?
Standardized like everything, so all the gauges are in one place. There's great like traceability with the way that I can sign out gauges to the floor and back into like storage, so I can keep track of where gauges are almost like instantaneously. Let alone it also keeps a history of that transaction, so I can follow the gauges as they travel around the shop.
Does it keep track then of who's like signing them in and out?
Yes, it can. I can assign them out to individual workstation, an individual job, an individual person, or as many of the three as I have the information for.
Now, how has 1factory really helped with the calibration of gauges here?
It's helped kind of like streamline the process. So the calibration templates come, we can set them up so that they are attached to specific gauges and are like preloaded when we pull up the calibration reports, so that we don't have to define it every time we go to calibrate each and every gauge.
So can you explain the process of like kitting your gauges? Like how is 1factory helping you with that?
I've just started using that feature, and I found it being most practical for the long running jobs we have on the floor. More often than not, those gauges end up staying on the floor, so I can specifically assign gauges to a certain job or part, so that whenever it comes up, I can just reissue same gauges each time.
So in what ways is 1factory really helping you with those calibrations?
Well, I have the filtering feature on the main page of the gauges, in which I can filter by gauges which are expired, coming up for calibration, or are okay to use. But what's also nice is 1factory sends out weekly emails every Monday morning to notify me of a list of gauges that are either expired or coming up for calibration. And that list is sent out to anyone who is a designated owner, or if anyone has been assigned the gauge onto the floor.
So that really helps you get ready for the next week coming up for any work that you have to do.
For sure, and it also gives a double check so that it's not all on me, so that the operators are aware of the status of their own gauges as well.
All right, Tyler, so let's say you have a failed gauge calibration. How easy is it for you to track where that gauge has been since its last successful calibration using 1factory?
Pretty easy. If a gauge fails a calibration, I will go to the gauge transaction tab in 1factory, and I can search that gauge number, and 1factory will tell me all the transactions related to that gauge number, including extra information as far as the user was issued to, the machine and job number.
Awesome. Well, Tyler, thank you so much for sharing your experience with 1factory. I really appreciate it.